Hey everybody, how's it going? It's the Daily Shooter, and today we're going to be taking a look at an absolutely incredible scope. This is unlike anything I've ever shown on the channel before. This is the Konus Pro EL30, which uses LCD technology, not LED, but LCD technology, to give you 10 different digital reticle options. It's really cool, so let's check it out. Okay, so the Konus Pro EL30, this is a very unique scope, definitely different than anything I've ever used on the channel before. And what makes it so unique again is the fact that it uses LCD technology and it has 10 different reticle options. I've never seen a scope with 10 different reticle options before. Now there are some physical differences to the scope that you can see right off the bat, and that's what helps it make those 10 different reticles. We have this unit in front of the top turret right here that contains a battery, and then we also have another unit over the ocular lens, and that's what helps you go through your different reticle options. We'll talk about the reticle options here in a bit because it's those that make this thing so versatile. They have options for tactical shooting, for long range shooting, for hunting, and much closer applications. So really cool stuff here. Now let's go ahead and talk about the specs for this scope. This is a 4:16 by 44 millimeter scope. So it has a 44 millimeter objective on it. Now one of the things I like about a 44 millimeter objective versus let's say a 50 is that they tend to be a little bit more lightweight. The scope comes in at just over about 23 ounces and is about, I think, 13.1 inches long. So it's very easy to maneuver. It's not too heavy given the fact that it's got some extra parts on it. So again, it's a 4:16 by 44. It's got a 30 millimeter tube, which means you're going to find a bunch of rings for it, and it has great light transmission. It's Type 3 hard anodized coated, and it has full-8 multi-coated lenses. It's waterproof, shockproof. I mean, this really is a really nice scope. Okay, so now let's go ahead and talk about those 10 different reticles. Now, what's interesting to me is that each reticle was designed for a more specific application. Now, there are reticles in there that I think are great all-around reticles that will help with windage and elevation and getting a nice precise shot, and you can use those at any range, so they would just be a good all-around reticle. But there are more specific reticles in there that might be a little bit thicker, that might have a horseshoe or a circle dot, things like that that are more tailored to tactical applications or hunting applications. So again, competition shooting, long range shooting, hunting, tactical, kind of all combined in this one unit right here. And the way that you would go through those different reticles is located back here on the ocular lens. You simply click the button and you go through your reticles. When you find the reticle that you want, you take your hand off and you leave it. One thing I found is that you're not going to accidentally click these buttons up here. That was one thing that I was wondering, is if you're going to be shooting or doing something like that and the button's accidentally going to be hit and then the reticle changes. I didn't find that to be the case at all. Once you pick the reticle that you want to use, it stays on that reticle. So it's really interesting. Now again, it uses LCD technology, and I know nothing about that type of technology. I've never seen it in a scope before. So I can't really tell you about exactly how it works, but it's done digitally, so it's not like something that's manual where you're going to flip through different reticles and maybe your point of aim, point of impact is going to shift. It's nothing like that. It's done digitally, so your point of aim, point of impact is always going to be the same when you're talking about that center dot right there. Whatever reticle you're using and whatever type of center it has is always going to be the same. So that's one thing that I think is really nice. Now in the front here on top of this turret, or in front of the top turret, is going to be your battery compartment. It uses one single CR2 battery in order to run that LCD screen. Again, I don't know how the LCD screen works, but it just works. So you have a CR2 battery that's located in the front right there. So each reticle has a number. It'll say M1, M2, M3, all the way up to M10, and that's how you can remember. So if you want to just remember the reticle that you used before was M4, you simply just go to M4, and it will project that inside the ocular lens as well. So you'll be able to see which reticle that you're using, just in case a couple of them maybe look very similar to another. So it's nice that they have each one of those numbered, and you can see it when you're looking through the scope. You don't have to take your eyes out of the scope at all. So I think it's really cool. Now, This works off of mill adjustments. So 1/10 mill adjustment for each click. If you are used to MOA or something like that, it's really easy to get used to mill adjustments. You can see that they're a little bit more fine, a little bit more precise. There's some people that prefer MOA, some people that prefer mill. For me, because I'm an American, I use inches, and so MOA is a thing, but it's very easy to use mill, and you'll see that with the 1/10 mill adjustments, you'll be able to make those nice and precise shots depending on, you know, which reticle that you're using, of course. Now, like I was saying before, it's a 4/16, so it goes all the way down to 4 power, which is really nice. It's kind of like ACOG territory. So you have that 4x setting. You can still use that in tactical applications. And then if you want to reach out, that 16 power really does get you out there. So when I'm shooting 600 yards plus, I can still use that 16 power and I can see my target no problem. It's got great light transmission. It is a really nice scope. It does provide a pretty good field of view as well. Now, one thing about this scope is that being the fact that it's kind of lightweight, it has a 44mm objective lens, which is definitely a lot lighter than a 50mm or something even bigger. You're only looking at about 23 ounces and about 13.1 inches long. So it is light enough, it's maneuverable enough where you can use it for everything that you want to use without having to go with this big, massive scope. So again, it is a very nice scope. And I should mention that these turrets are also lockable. Now, I like the fact that they went with a more tactical style turret instead of a hunting turret like they could have done, because a lot of the applications in here are more for competition and hunting purposes. But because there are several tactical reticles and stuff like that, they went with a tactical dial, which kind of reaches up nice and high above this battery right here. And then you can make your adjustments and they're completely lockable. They've got some nice knurling on them, so they're easy to grab onto. Now, I do want to mention real quick that even though OpticsPlanet did not send me this scope, you can still get a better deal over at OpticsPlanet using my discount code TDS5. So I'll put more information in the comment section if you guys are interested in something like this. But again, TDS5 will save you a little bit of money, and you'll be able to get into this scope for a pretty good price. It's already under $400, so it's an affordable scope. It's not anything that's going to cost you like $1,200 because it has some crazy technology. They actually kept the price pretty well in line with what you get. It's got great value to it. The glass is very clear. There is no distortion around the edges. Everything looks really nice. Good light transmission. The color is very correct and so forth. Now, I should also mention that the eye relief on this is about 3 inches when you're fully dialed up and about 3.6 inches, close to 4 inches when you're dialed down to 4 power. So obviously the eye relief changes as you go through your magnification range, but it's right in that about a ½ an inch range. So it's very easy to make your corrections when you're using this thing. So again, it's a cool scope. It's definitely got a lot to offer. Energizer lithium 2-pack. That'll last you for quite a bit. Just take one of them, put one of them in the scope, put another one in your grip or in your pocket or something like that. And just in case you run out of batteries, you just go ahead and switch it out. All you would do is simply remove this compartment right here, replace your battery, put the compartment back on, and you're good to go. So again, it is an issue if you run out of battery, you also run out of reticle, but at the same point, it's an easy thing to fix. Now, the Konus EL30 Pro has been pretty good to me. I can shoot out to about 640 yards max where I'm at, and I have no problem putting shots on steel every single time. It's got plenty of elevation. You can see through it nice and clear, plenty of magnification, and so it does make it very easy, and it's a very well-rounded scope as well. So if you're somebody who wants to invest your money on something you can use for multiple applications, this would definitely be something good for you. I should also mention that it does not have an illuminated reticle. For those people out there that are going to ask, it's a black reticle, non-illuminated, so that if that's going to be an issue for you, you might want to think about that as well. Nonetheless, more information in the comment section. I want to thank all you guys very much for watching. Please like, subscribe, and have a great day.